All right, here we are again with the Kelp4less podcast with the undisputed hydroweight champion of the world, Harley Smith, back again,
And the organic mechanic.
and the organic mechanic. That's right. My best time of the week. My best time of the week. Some of the best talks go on right here, and this really helps me get jived up for the day. So, thanks once again for being here.
My pleasure.
All right, all right. Hey, we had quite a few questions come in and comments, and I thought maybe we just address some of those, see where that goes. Kind of fun thing to do. We can just go off topic and just freelance a little bit if we want. But I like that people watch this and ask us questions. That makes it even more fun.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And anyway, Harley, we had a viewer that um, said Brandon mentioned that chemistry trumps biology.
It's the
And
other way
they want
around.
to know
Isn't it
what's
the
that?
other way around? Isn't it the
Oh,
other way around?
bi-
Biology trumps chemistry?
that's right. Biology. Brandon said biology trumps chemistry. Can you go into detail and explain that a little more? And I believe on the chat I said biology trumps chemistry in soil. I think I said that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I thought we just talk about that a little bit and kind of what I was referring to is um, chemistry is such a proven science. If you look at the overall chemistry and, in test tubes and perfect conditions and, right pHs and all that stuff, it works. I mean, it works every time. It's a proven science, no doubt about it. And what I was referring to is you can't do that chemistry in the soil all the time without the biology. Biology will really help the chemistry work because sometimes it won't. It won't work in the soil like you want it to work on the table or in the lab. You can put a bunch of nutrients on that is exactly the right formulation, exactly the right inputs, and they get tied up in the soil. And the biology helps break that down and helps the chemistry come along in the soil better. It just makes it better in the soil. That's what I was referring to. Now let's see what holes Hardy can poke into this.
I agree. In hydroponics, then we don't have soil, so we provide all of the essential elements that the plants
Mhm.
need in a water soluble form. So that's chemistry. And just the basic that is that the actual form that the plant takes up minerals is exactly the same form, the ionic form, that is taken up in organic
Yeah,
nutrition too. The
yeah,
difference is that in hydroponics, the minerals are mined from the earth and they're processed into a water soluble form. And we use specific mm, ionic compounds. There's the chemistry part, you know. So the chemistry is a little lesson here is if you have a chemical compound or a mineral salt that ends in the ending ATE, 8, like calcium nitrate would be the calcium salt, the positive ion of nitric acid, calcium nitrate. Magnesium sulfate, magnesium salt of sulfuric acid. Potassium
mhm,
phosphate, the potassium salt of phosphoric acid. So that's called ionic compound. When you have that salt, like magnesium sulfate, you have the positive magnesium, the negative sulfate, put them together, and they're neutral in charge. You put them in water to dissolve them, then the water is a dipolar molecule. So it separates the positive and negative charges, holds them apart, and then the plant takes up the ions, either the sulfate ion or the magnesium ion. And that's the same way that that is happening in soil. That's in the soil water solution, they call it, the dissolved minerals, the dissolved ions. That's what plants take up in soil too. There's no difference. It's all natural as far as the uptake. The main difference is in soil, you have microorganisms. If you have organic matter or if you have organic fertilizers, plants can't take up large molecules. They have to be broken down into smaller and smaller and smaller particles until they're in their ionic form. And then the plant takes them up, just the same way as hydroponics. So really, uh, chemistry is still, my take, chemistry is still king because that's what the plant sees in the end. The chemistry, and it does chemical reactions biologically inside the plant. And it makes and they're autotrophic. They use those essential elements, light and temperature and water, and they're autotrophic. They make all of the organic compounds. But once they're all made, they have to be recycled back to the earth so they can be taken up again. And that's the key to healthy soil, is to have an active soil life that can mineralize the nutrients that are locked up and make them available to the plants again. So I agree with you 100%. It's both. Really, it is.
Yeah.
Chemistry is still there,
Yeah.
but the way that the plant utilizes that chemistry is the difference, and that's the future. That's what we're trying to tap in the future, is to really unlock the potential of the soil, unlock the nutrients and organic matter, and help the plant reach its true genetic potential.
So I think if I heard you right, what you're saying are all these microbes are little chemists down there. They all got the safety goggles on, the little test tubes and everything like that. Like the microbes are the chemists in the soil.
They are. They're the chemists
Oh,
and the plant. And the plants are the master chemists because they control the whole process. They will there's exudates from the roots that feed the microbes, that attract the microbes, and they'll do different exudates to attract different microbes to make different nutrients available. I mean, the plant itself is the master chemist, the
mm,
director
yeah.
of the chemistry lab, and the microbes just do the work.
Okay, that was a fun discussion. Yeah, some good details in there, and hopefully that paints the picture um, for for that question that was asked. Now I got another one. This question was asked by Jim. So thanks, Jim. Thanks for this insight. Jim was saying we talk about a lot about biologicals and biostimulants, and his question is: Is biology a biostimulant? What's the difference? How do we find what's a stimulant and what's just biology? And you can look at this a lot of different ways, and that's a good question because I can understand that. And if we talk about this a little bit, boy, almost anything that affects a plant could be a biostimulant because the plant's a complete biological specimen. So how do we make that difference? What is a biostimulant? What is biology? What's your take on that?
Yeah, the simple answer is a biostimulant improves the uptake of nutrients or stimulates cellular metabolism. They're really small, typically organic molecules, compounds that aid with the uptake of nutrients. So we talked about all of the essential elements. We need to give the plant all the elements, but then the biostimulants aid with the uptake. And the more efficiently plants take up the water and the minerals, the more chemical reactions the plant can do, and the higher the Brix, the sugar content in the sap. And the higher the Brix, that's stored energy the plant can use to grow, to reproduce, to fight off pests and diseases. So the biostimulants are, to me, are extracts from plants and extracts from
Right.
microorganisms that aid with, significantly in very small amounts. It's not the same as organic fertilizer, but in small amounts have a significant, statistically significant effect on the physiology of the plant. Now, the microbes, the biologicals, they're the biostimulant factories. And the biostimulants, when we use them in the right way, either hydroponics or in soil, the biostimulants will stimulate the metabolism of the root cells, the plant, but it also stimulates the metabolism of the microorganisms. So if you're stimulating the metabolism, as their microbes are feeding on the exudates from the roots, if you increase their cellular metabolism with biostimulants, then they start vibrating with energy, they start to divide, pop, 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 and as they're actively dividing, they make more biostimulants, and they make the minerals more available, and they make plant protection agents and all the other things. So really the two work together. But I think in general, though, the biostimulants are products of the beneficial microorganisms. That
Right.
they make the microorganisms make the biostimulants not for the plant. They make it for themselves, for their own metabolism, and to chelate the minerals so that they can absorb the minerals. They make amino acids so that as a nitrogen source that they can absorb the nitrogen in that form. But in the process, because plants and microorganisms have co-evolved, they're they're mutually beneficial, not just to help each other survive, but to help each other thrive. I don't know if that maybe I hope I didn't make it more confusing. But the small products, the biostimulants, are produced by microorganisms or extracted from plants. Uh-oh. Okay, you're back. Lost you for just a split second there.
Sure. Yeah. 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 Here we are on the internet. But that was a great recap. And on my kind of answer to this question is we're on the same page. When I speak about biology, and
Hmm.
biologicals, I'm talking about the microorganisms. I'm talking, the bacteria and the fungi and the protozoa and this. When I speak about biologicals, that's it. Biostimulants are a different category to me. So I just want to make that clear to that viewer. And yeah, these are some pretty fun questions just to bounce off you. Uh, I have one more if we got time.
Sure. We
Yeah.
do. Yeah, we have time.
Okay. So this is from Hank or Harry Howard, something like that, something with an H. Hey, sorry, I can't, I can't interpret that right here, but it's just a quick question, an easy question. How can I increase my lateral branching without using chemicals? That's the question.
Hmm.
And yeah, we'd like to get Harley's take on
Yeah, I have my go-to answer for everything. Kelp. Kelp extracts.
that. I
That's like
knew it.
I call it.
I knew it.
You could have guessed that because kelp is relatively high in natural hormones and trace elements too, lots of good things, but natural hormones, and one of those that's particularly high in is called cytokinins. Okay,
Yeah,
and cytokinins in biology, cytokinesis is cell division. So cytokinins are the natural hormone that stimulate cell division. Now, if you use that as a foliar spray, it will um, restrict or inhibit the apical dominance. That's the top growth of the plant that wants to grow up and up and up. It'll,
yeah.
it'll, it'll suppress that, but it'll naturally stimulate lateral bud development or branching. So if a lot of the chemical ones out there that do that, they actually interfere with um, hormones in the plant. They inhibit the gibberellic acid pathway. The gibberellins are what promote the stretching, the cell elongation. So they found a way to make that not work. But every time you work against nature like that, there's potential for negative side effects. Or
Hmm.
the chemical that you're using actually can be carcinogenic. But if you go with nature, if you go with natural forms of those hormones, like the kelp extracts, you can you can get more lateral branching. And I use that. One of the main places is on mother plants. I call it stage 0 of taking cuttings. About 2 weeks before you take your cuttings from your mom, give it a low dose, light dose, one time, just a light dose with kelp extracts, and you'll see it. The cytokines also will pull the nutrients into those branches, into those tissues, pulls them in, and it also tends to keep those tissues more juvenile, keeps them from
Oh,
senescing and turning brown and yellow. So you're really setting up the environment. You're pre-priming those branches because those branches are your cuts, your cuttings, but you're pre-priming them with high bricks, with lots of nutrient value and protection from the stress that happens after you cut them. So that would be my answer. Kelp extracts. Do
there
that,
we go.
but don't
Yeah.
overdo it. Don't know, not too high a dose, not too often, no more than once a week. That's a lot. Once every 2 or even once every 3 weeks, will still have a noticeable, you'll see it with your eyes, a noticeable beneficial effect on the plant for branching.
There we go. And all the other positive effects that come along doing
Oh
the
yeah.
kelp foliar. So, hey, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Always comes back to kelp with Harley.
It always comes back. I have the jacket to prove it. Kelp4less.
There you
I will
go.
say I will say one more comment though. If you work against nature, like with some of these chemical plant growth regulators, you try to interfere with the natural process, you work against nature, more than likely, eventually, there's going to be negative side effects. And it
Yeah.
could be negative side effects to the environment, could be negative side effects for the plant itself, or it could be negative effects for the rest of us, for those of us that partake of the plants. But you work with nature, there's always positive side effects, many of which we never even anticipated. So we answer the question of the lateral branching, but there's a lot of other side effects from the kelp foliar that we didn't even think of. Like making the plant more cold
Yeah.
tolerant, and other things, making it more heat tolerant, you know, because it's part of the plant's natural process of growth and protection. And it took the plant, the chemist, the master chemist, the plant, it took them millions of years of experimenting
Yeah.
in the lab to be able to do that. And we're just so lucky we come along as human beings with little understanding, and we can take the best of nature and work with nature in an intelligent way. So we're
Once
doing our part,
again,
hopefully,
that is
unless
good
we
advice.
okay.
Yeah, that is good advice. And in the words of Bayside, good advice is hard to come by, but you can find it here, right here. Organic Mechanic, Harley Smith, good advice, as much as we can give you in these little segments. And we'll be back soon to give you some more, I hope.
Okay. Well, this was a good one. It was short and sweet, but I think we answered the questions well, I hope. Unless there's anything
Yeah.
you wanted to add on the kelp, you're the master with mixing up those microbes, the biological. You're the expert with mixing up those biostimulants. You're the expert on putting the two together. You have any other comments before we go? Last
Yeah.
thought?
As far as being an expert, I got a lot of good people around me. I got a
Oh,
lot
that
of
too.
people,
Oh,
good people around me. I gotta say that. Boy, not the expert, but everybody's brain involved that I work with and help out, everybody's of equal value. And I appreciate all
yeah,
of
I see that we have some of the same friends. Let's say that. I'll say that
that.
too.
Yeah.
But where you really you put the pieces together though. You take the microbiology, get the good advice from the best microbiologists in the world, right? And you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
people like me, which maybe not the best, but been around a long time. You know, you take all these
Yeah.
pieces together, and look what happens. You're doing it.
Yeah.
You're not just thinking about it. You're actually making it practical for for all the rest of us out there that are trying to learn
Oh
and
yeah,
trying to just be
thank
better
you.
at what we do.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate that. And we're having a good time. We're helping plants, we're helping people, we're helping soils, and yeah, I mean I could talk about this all day, but unfortunately I got to go get work done.
Oh
This
yeah,
work
we're out of
always
time.
gets in the
We're,
road.
okay, well, it's nice talking to you again today. It was fun. It was a lot of fun today, and we'll talk again next week.
Okay, yeah, you have a good day and good luck on your consultation today. Go get them, Harley. Go get them.
Okay.
All right.